Hey everyone, welcome to this week's coin news video. Sorry we didn't get online yesterday, but if you saw our Facebook post you would know that we were putting up cabinets in here yesterday. They were delivered last week and we couldn't find someone to put them up for us, so I had to get my dad in and we put them up ourselves. Two wall mounted cabinets that Catherine and I intend to put a good portion of our banknotes in, so that you don't need to bend down and peer into the bottom of our bench cabinets that we've got in here at the moment. They were very heavy and it was definitely a 2 or 3 person job to get them up onto the wall, so apologies for that. So we're here today and it's been flat out in here this morning, even though the shop's not open. We've had another dealer drop in for a visit today and I was trying to get some items listed up on the website, and Catherine's trying to keep on top of the mailing, so it's been very busy here today already, and I haven't had time to do even an announcement post about what today's video is about. So hello Alex and Brendan and Al, how are you? Thanks for joining in today. So let's just jump into the news for the week. So top thing there is what's going on in the shop. The last week we spent a lot of time with these cabinets. We've got 2 wall mounted cabinets and a freestanding cabinet which fill in the blank wall here. Those of you who know the shop would know where that is. Those of you who haven't been able to come in here or are from interstate will do a little video walk around of those when they're filled up, which hopefully should be this week or next week. It's going to take us a while to get them filled up, but Catherine and I are super pleased that they're here and installed now. The next coin show, I did these news slides a couple of days ago. It was a different world, but the next coin show that's coming up is just in a few weeks time in Melbourne, and it's the ANDA Coin and Banknote Expo. But I think we all know that that probably isn't going to happen because of the goings on in the country at the moment with COVID, and I'm sure that we're all sick of hearing that. But unfortunately coin and banknote shows in the last 18 months have been heavily disrupted by the pandemic, and you wonder whether some of them aren't going to fall by the wayside, which would be a shame because they are the highlight of the numismatic calendar year. And I can only hope that the one here in Adelaide in November still goes ahead, but I don't think anyone can say for certain what's going to happen there. Now the last item there with news is just a gut feeling really, that I feel like perhaps the $2 market, the C Mint mark and sort of collectible $2 market, red poppies and that sort of stuff, I feel like perhaps they've turned a corner in the last couple of weeks, and there's a couple of reasons. One is that the orders that we've been getting in for C Mint mark $2 has definitely picked up. We've had a number of orders in the last couple of weeks for multiple C Mint mark $2 coins, and these tend to be sort of the lower value ones. The end of World War II, Indigenous military service, the repats, those sorts of things. But there's people buying multiples of them, and Catherine's been listing up red poppies on RSL cards, and they've been selling pretty much as soon as she lists them up on the website, which is unusual. The last few months those red poppies have been sitting on our website for quite a while before they sell. So I do feel like perhaps the $2 market has turned a bit of a corner. So if you're into that sort of thing, buying and reselling $2 coins and things, now might be the time to do something about a hoard that you're sitting on, or perhaps look at buying before the prices go back up again. Do be warned though that the prices now are lower than what they were a year ago, so there's no such thing as a sure thing, especially in buying and selling coins. So Mike, g'day, how are you? And Paul and Wendy, and Alex says that the poppies are popular because of the news. So yeah, there was an article I mentioned in the video last week on the channel 7 website, I think, about the red poppy and it being quite a valuable coin to look out for, and the article wasn't too bad either. It was fairly well put together. Hello young Peter, how are you? Thanks for joining in. And I just thought I'd show you what we bought this morning. The dealer who came in. I'll just get rid of this slide. We bought this morning. The dealer brought this in to see if we're interested in it, and I really couldn't say no. I'm not sure if you can make out what that is there, but it's a big yellow coin, obviously. So we can see the veil head portrait of Queen Victoria there, and the Pastrucci St George slaying the dragon on the reverse there. And I don't know if you can see how big that coin is. I'm just looking for another coin here to compare it with. Here's a shilling. Shilling is the same size as a 10-cent piece, so you can see the difference in size there. So it's a 1893 £5, Great Britain £5. I believe the mintage is 24,000. So £5 is 5 sovereigns. So there's about 1 1/4 ounces of gold in that. It's only the second £5 coin that Catherine and I have ever had. We've only ever had one other £5 coin. That was a 1902 £5 coin. So pretty exciting purchase for us, and I'm quite certain that I paid too much for it, but I couldn't let a £5 coin leave the shop. Perhaps if we get it graded, there might be a small profit in it for us, but sometimes the coin collector in me gets wins over the coin dealer in me, and I perhaps buy things for more than I should. I think the dealer who brought it in here knew that I would be keen on it, and saw me coming from a mile away, so good on him for doing that. Ben is asking, is it true that the Aboriginal $2 coin isn't going into circulation? So Ben, I assume you mean the Indigenous Service, Military Service coin there. As far as I know, it's going into circulation. I've seen pictures of that $2 coin at the mint that were not cement mark coins. And I've seen copies of correspondence that one of the watchers of this video has had with the mint, confirming that it is going into circulation. So, as far as I know, it's going into circulation, but I don't have any later news than that information's about a month old. If something's happened in the last month, then I'm not sure about that. So, right, let's get on with today's topic, and this is the last part of PCGS grading. So we talked about 2 weeks ago, we talked about why you would get a coin graded. So, and there's the reasons there. Value, coin is valuable. It might be a grade rarity. It might be to provide assurance as to its authenticity, and to get a description of the coin into with the coin, so there's no disputing what it is, or perhaps what type of error it is, or what type of variety it is. So there's 4 reasons why you get coins graded. And then last week we showed you 3 coins that we got graded and the reasons why we got them graded. And today what I'm going to show you is 3 coins that we got graded that we shouldn't have got graded. So this is a good way of learning from mistakes that we have made. And there was one coin that I wanted to include in this, but I couldn't find a picture of it. So I'll just talk quickly about that coin when we finish with these ones. So this is the first coin here, and this is one of Catherine's coins, and she doesn't know that I'm talking about this. It's a 1956 proof penny. It's toned dark brown there. What the pictures don't show is that it is actually quite purple, so hence the reason that she has the coin. But it is graded as PR65 brown. Now, why why wouldn't we get this coin graded again, even though she has had it graded? She got it graded to preserve it, really. So it was to preserve it. It's not valuable. It's not a good example of the type, because generally this QE2 proof copper, at least 1956 onwards, you want it to be red, you don't want it to be brown. And there's no sort of disputing what it is. It is a proof penny. Any dealer or sort of reasonably advanced collector would know that this is a proof penny. So we've thrown $40 or $45 at getting this coin graded, and it probably hasn't added any value to it. It hasn't added any credibility to it, and it was probably $40 that has been wasted, because toned proof pennies sell for a fraction of the red examples. So this coin might be worth $200 to $300, and it would be worth $200 to $300 graded or ungraded. So putting aside the thoughts of preservation for this coin, this would be a coin that if it was presented to me today, someone walked in and had it and they said to me, should I get this graded? My answer to that would be no. I would not get this coin graded. Adding the cost of grading to it doesn't add anything to the coin itself. So that's the first coin that I wanted to talk about. The second coin is this one. This is a world coin, and this is more of a why you need to look at coins properly before you get them graded. So this is a Palestine 1939 50 mils. It's silver. It's about the same size as a 10-cent piece. It's quite a scarce coin. Some of the Palestinian coin series is very short. It's not hard to put together a full set, and some of the coins are very low mintage. This is one of those. Now, I actually remember buying this coin quite clearly. It was several years ago, perhaps 8 or 9 years ago, and I got perhaps too excited about it and sent it off to PCGS without too much thought. And I think about a month after I'd sent it, I realised I should have looked at it closer, because it had sort of the characteristic sort of mirror finish on the high points of the coin that indicate that it had been cleaned. Alright, so it's not harshly clean, it's just been rubbed on the high points, and of course it came back from PCGS cleaned. So I've wasted that money getting that graded. It was just a waste of time. And the lesson there is to treat each coin on its merits. Don't fall in love with a coin. Don't become enamored of it and say, well, I'm getting this graded whatever the case. You need to look at it objectively before you invest that money with PCGS in getting it graded. Oh, sorry. The phone. I always make a note to leave the phone outside when I'm doing these, and I've forgotten. So naughty me. Don't forget. Don't fall in love with the coin before you get it graded. Treat it on its merits. And what I will do is I will jump to the coin that I mentioned at the beginning that I couldn't find a picture of. It's a 1956 broad-struck florin. It was choice uncirculated, and I had it for years. It was the most money I'd spent on a coin for a very long time, and I always loved it, and I loved it too much. I never actually took the time to look at it properly, and sent it off to PCGS, and it came back MS62, I think. And I remember quite clearly being gutted by the grade, because it was so low, and I was convinced it was better than that. So, for a couple of weeks I sort of sat and stewed on it, and then I looked at the PCGS image, and I saw where someone had cleaned a spot off of it. And, you think, well, PCGS did that, and of course they didn't, because when I went and looked at the photos that we'd taken of the coin before we'd sent it, sure enough there was the clean spot on it. So there was a similar example to this coin, is that I just loved the coin too much and didn't look at it objectively. So if you are thinking about getting coins graded, do try to detach yourself from them and be sensible about what you're doing. Don't get coins graded for the sake of getting them graded. Do think about what you're doing. Right, and the last one here is an interesting one. This is one that the Purple Penny got graded, and we lost money on this coin because we just weren't thinking about what we were doing. And it's a 2020 and M 50-cent piece, gold-plated 50-cent piece thing that was released at an ANDA show that didn't happen last year. Mintage was 2020. I remember quite clearly that we bought it off of someone who brought it in here, and we paid good money for it. And then, they were hanging around, and we picked out the best one and got it graded and sent it over. And it came back, and with the grading fee and what we paid for it, I think we lost $60 on it when we sold it. And then we had a bit of a debrief about what we'd done about it, about where we'd gone wrong. And we'd gone wrong in three places, really. One was that when you buy these sort of new releases, especially if you don't get them at release price, and because we're not ANDA members, we don't get this stuff at release price. If you're buying it on the secondary market, then often there's a time where the prices are at a peak, and you need to get rid of it straight away. We would have been happy to make $20 on this coin, but we just hung around, and we didn't try and get rid of it straight away. So by the time we got around to thinking about getting it graded, the collectors had moved on. So we probably should have just eaten our loss then and got rid of it, but no, we sent it to PCGS. So yeah, let's pay too much for a coin and then throw another $40 at it, and then comes back, and it was a pretty low grade. I think it was an MS65, so it wasn't the best example that we could have sent across. So there's another lesson there. We should have looked at it a lot better, and neither of us did. And then we put it up on the website for what the current market value was, because that's how we try to sell things, is we look at what recent results were, and it sold straight away for $60 less than what we paid for it. So go us. These things happen because you don't take the time to grade things correctly, because you don't take the time to see where the market is at right now. And in Catherine and our defense, we handle a bucket load of coins, and sometimes things don't get the attention they deserve. Mick bought it, and that was a bargain. Mick, that was a bargain, that coin. And we kicked ourselves afterwards, and like I said, we had a little debrief and where we went wrong, and we'll just make sure with this sort of stuff that we'd try not to do that again. But I'm sure we will, because we're just human like everyone else. So that's 3 coins that we shouldn't have got graded. Catherine and I are big PCGS people. We like getting coins graded by PCGS. We don't send a lot. We send a few hundred coins a year, and that hasn't gone up since we opened the shop up. We don't send any more coins now than what we used to. Each coin needs to be looked at on its merits, and you need to understand your reason for getting a coin graded before you do so. Don't get everything graded. You're just wasting money. And do think about what you're doing. Now, if you're here in Adelaide and you want to get a coin graded, then by all means bring it into us, and we'll take a look at it, and we'll talk to you about what you want from it, and give you some advice on whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. If you do decide to get your coins graded, contact Eric at Drake Sterling. He will take care of you and get your coin graded for you. And Eric's a good guy, and he's very safe. You can be comfortable that your coins are being looked after when they're with him. But we do encourage people to dip their toes in the water of the PCGS grading, because it is, I believe, the way of the current, of the present and the future for coins here in Australia, at least. And as older dealers leave the market and newer ones enter the market, I think you'll find that more and more of the newer dealers will be happy to use PCGS grading with their coins. So there we go. That's it for this week. Next week we're going to talk about, I'm just looking up on the whiteboard there for what next week's topic is. We're going to talk about security and collecting, and how you should store your coins and who you should talk to them about and who you shouldn't talk to them about, and how how to look after them to ensure the security of your collection. It's a topic that is near and dear to Catherine's heart, and it is an important topic for everyone. I don't know if anyone saw the news this week, but Alexandra Stockich, the Royal Australia Mint coin designer, was robbed. Her house was robbed this week, and lots of unique items were taken from her. And I firmly believe that that was a targeted robbery, and it probably wasn't one of her friends who did it, or one of her friends' friends, but someone knew what she did and figured out where she lived and went there and cleaned her out. And these are the sorts of problems that are unavoidable as coin collectors, so we'll be talking through precautions you can take next week. It's an interesting topic. Please do join in. I look forward to seeing you then. We've got one question here. Ben, is there any July RAM releases? There's just the fine silver proof set and the fine gold set. We've got a couple of the silver proof sets here that are coming. I think they're $400 each, and the fine gold sets, which I believe there's only 400 minted, but they're $13,500. So if you want one of those, let us know, and I'm sure we can get you one. That's it though for releases for this month. August, I believe the release schedule kicks off again, and no doubt they'll be line listed, I think, next week. So as always, the line listings will appear on our Facebook page, and if you're interested in any of the line listed items, just send me a message and we'll stick you on our interest list, and we may be able to allocate you something. Peter says, are you getting any of the gold sets in? No, we're not. Yeah, I think the gold sets are really beautiful, and we've handled several of the 2011 earlier sets, and they're absolutely stunning things, but they barely trade above the gold scrap price. So I wouldn't buy a new one for my collection. I'd probably wait for one to pop up on the secondary market and get it for a bit cheaper. All right, everyone, that's it for this week. Happy collecting. Stay safe. Everyone out there who's in lockdown, please don't go crazy. Follow the rules. Make it easy for yourself and for everyone, and we'll all get through this together and come out the other side. And if you're here in Adelaide, please do drop in and say hello. You know we like to see everyone coming in here. So bye everyone for now. Watch out for the cabinet video on our page this week, and we'll show you the cabinets. Bye everyone.